Ahoy there, I'm Nichole her founder of Success on the Spectrum, and welcome to our location in Lincoln, Rhode Island. This sensory-friendly center makes the perfect learning environment for children with autism, and our viewing room creates trust and transparency for their families.
My name is Paul Moretti. I'm the CEO of Success on the Spectrum in Lincoln, Rhode Island.
My name is Cheyenne Cabral. I am the Clinical Director BCBA at Success on the Spectrum, Lincoln, Rhode Island.
Growing up, my dad, my grandfather, and my uncle were Masons and Shriners. So my job working with the autism community that they were working with was to just hang out with them and be friends. So I always volunteered at the Special Olympics and did whatever I could for the community. So my role kind of started a little bit before SOS. I joined the Army because I needed to be in the field of helping people. When I got out of the Army, I got into helping other veterans getting out of the Army with the transition. And I was looking to break into the mental health world somehow. And that was when I found SOS. And at the time I found SOS, I was like, oh no, there's no way I'm in a position I can open up my own business. And it stuck in my head for like a year. And then I finally bought the plane ticket and flew down to Houston and met Nichole and met the whole team at SOS. And I fell in love with the model of the business. Now I'm here every day. I'm always walking around the floor. I absolutely love seeing I love seeing my techs in session. I love seeing breakthroughs and progress with all the kids.
I've been a BCBA for just about 5 years. My background as a clinician started in a verbal behavior clinic, and I'm very strong about verbal behavior. When we're looking at developing language, I think verbal behavior using the VB-MAP as one of the primary tools, I think it expands language. It teaches us as practitioners to identify these holes in their language and be able to target that and increase those skills. What I like here is that it's all individualized, and it's up to us to, as the BCBAs, to develop and implement all the programming. And being able to implement ABA throughout the entire day, where I think in other school settings it might be more challenging to do so, or even so out of district placement, where BCBA is just more in charge of the behavior management piece.
I'll be honest, I never knew what ABA was before I joined SOS. I learned everything about ABA the day I signed up with SOS to every single day when I talked to my provider. He's taught me so much about ABA. I love how open it is. I love that each BCBA can create their own style of ABA. Like our provider's style of ABA is all play-based therapy. It's fun and it's effective.
It's the most efficient way to teach, right? Because they're playing with toys that they just naturally love, and they don't even know that they're learning. They just think they're playing. They're imitating a friend, a sibling, a parent on how to play with the toys. They're making sounds as to how the toy plays.
1, 2, 3. Ice cream.
If we're sitting down at a table all day, every day, that's not a natural thing for a child to do. They're taught that as they get older, but that's not something natural, which for me that means then these skills are going to decrease, or we won't see any skill acquisition. Well, I mean, we're all individuals, right? And not every one person learns the same. So you have kids who may be better at visual learning. So we're gonna learn our visual skills first, and then use some type of stimulus transfer control to a listener responding skill, or as an expressive skill. And then there might be some kids who can express their wants and needs, or can tact or label things really easily. And I think what's different about Success on the Spectrum is, as a BCBA, not being micromanaged, because I've been in situations or worked for different facilities that tend to micromanage, and I don't think that is a good, healthy relationship. I also like the flexibility and the autonomy given to us to be able to write up an intervention, a skill acquisition program, a behavior reduction intervention, how we deem fit using different tools that are available. I like that, and I think that makes this franchise different than other clinics or organizations that I've worked at.
I chose this spot specifically in Lincoln, Rhode Island because the only ABA centers that they have out here are from like Warwick out to South County, all in like the southern Rhode Island. There's not many around here. These are some of those centers that you're not allowed past the doors. They have no idea what their kids are doing all day. And I don't understand that method. I love that we have open door policies. I love that our parents can come at any moment.
Parents can just drop by and hang out and drink some coffee. We have cameras in every room in 2 or 3 major hallways. Chris will put on the camera wherever their child is at, and he's really good at just following the child throughout.
I mean, we have nothing to hide. That's what it comes down to, is we're here to help your kids, and you're more than welcome to watch us do it.
I like sitting with the parents. They may not call in and they might just pop up, but if I know they're coming in and a child's having a hard time, I will make sure I have that conversation with the parents so they understand like what we're doing. And what's nice too, we have the cameras in every room, we have walkies so I can explain to the parents what we're doing, and then also they can see how I supervise or how I coach the staff through those moments. We do have parents that have left other centers, primarily because they know nothing about what's going on. These are children with special needs.
In order for ABA to work, it has to be carried out at home as well. We can only do so much on our end, but if it's not being carried out with our parents, I don't want to say it's going to undo what we've done, but it's only going to get better as long as it's carried out at home. So we definitely focus very heavily on our parent training. All of our parents are always in the office asking for when Cheyenne's free to get some parent training done. They get very excited for it.
It's about being honest. This is a challenging field. For many parents, it's challenging and it's hard for them to accept that their child may have autism and that they learn different than others. So I think it's about the transparency where parents comes with explaining to them what these deficits are. Transparency for me also is explaining to parents what their strengths are, letting them know that their child may not necessarily be acquiring skills at a high rate, but if their maladaptive behavior is decreasing, say they have no skill, but now they learn one skill and they're really scrolling through different responses, that's a positive. That means that child is learning. We want to be transparent with our parents because ABA gets a bad rep. And if we're not clear with our parents about the expectation, if we don't explain to them what we expect from them or what we're expecting from our staff or the children, then you don't build that relationship.
We're here to help not only the children, but the families, because it's not an easy life. It's not an easy job either. There's definitely hard times, but seeing those little breakthroughs makes it all worth it. It puts a huge smile on everybody's face.
Right now, our youngest is 3, our oldest, I believe, is 6. We will be servicing a couple of teenagers, so I believe 14 and 16. It's important to continue services past the age of 7 or 8 for some children. These kids need to be taught consistently so these skills can get maintained.
I'm going to steal my provider story because it really touched me when he told me. So the biggest reason why my provider got into early intervention is because he used to work with older autistic adults. He had one who was 22 years old, never had any help, never had any ABA, never had any sort of intervention plan, and it's a really sad story. He didn't really have many human abilities. He had no skills. He couldn't brush his teeth, couldn't change his socks. And just hearing that, no child should grow into that. Everyone needs help. And the earlier you start, the more progress you'll see, the more capable that these kids will be able to take care of themselves, at least for the most part, one day.
Actually, I have a really good one, which is actually my favorite story, I think. I'm a child at heart. So one of my previous clients loved toys that spun. So we ordered him some Beyblades, so some spin tops, and we were working on a fine motor skill of putting it together, twisting it, and pulling it, which is all play. They just don't know that they're working on these skills. And we're working on pulling it. So one of the actions that I was requiring him to say is, just like they do in the show, let it rip. So I had to give the staff feedback that it's not pull, it's let it rip, because now it's functional. That's how you play with the toy. And the child started doing it independently all by himself, asking for letting it rip. And then I just remember one day walking in, and then he's just like, rip it. And it was just beautiful for me because nobody taught him that. He just generalized it himself. And that's kind of what we want to see with our kids. It's teaching them something that's important to them, and then seeing those skills generalized, because that's very challenging for this population.
When I hear parents talk about how much more well-behaved their kids are at home, how we have one parent who came in all excited that morning because her kid brought his plate, his breakfast plate to the sink and rinsed it off before he came in here. These kids are sitting at the tables for the whole time they're at dinner. When I hear stuff like that, or if one of our kids learns a new word, that's when it's like, okay, we're doing something good here.
This is such an exciting time as we're opening the very first autism treatment franchise in the state of Rhode Island.
I'm so proud to announce that we're serving the autism community here in Lincoln, Rhode Island.
Let it rip.
I love seeing not only just the progress, but the quick progress. There's progress every single day, and whenever we get a breakthrough, you'll hear it on the walkie-talkie, so-and-so just did this by themselves, and everyone screams. It's hard not to have a smile on your face here.
So come on in, stop by and take a tour and see how we can help your child navigate the seas of autism.